What's up, squad? My name is Ray and welcome back to the Generation Strong YouTube channel. It's been a while since we've done one of those long format, inspirational kind of interviews, but I'm glad to say we're back. Our first guest is someone I've known for one of the longest times, and in such a short span of 2 years, she's achieved such great things and so many accolades. It just goes to show that when you really put your mind to something, you can achieve whatever you want. Now, Scarlett is a WBFF Pro. She is a professional strongwoman in the making. She's also just competed at the Qualifiers at England's Strongest. She's also a strength coach and she's a nutritionist and probably one of the most positive human beings I have met in the world. So this chat I had with Scarlett dates back to the end of February, where she was actually getting ready to go to the qualifiers of England's Strongest Woman. And at this point, she's actually got the qualifier. She's qualified and she's getting ready to compete at the highest level. And so that's why we've labeled this episode part 1, and then when she gets back from England's Strongest, we'll do a follow-up interview and we'll label that number 2. And of course, good luck, and I know she'll win, so we're really looking forward to that. So in this episode, there's a ton of great information. There's so much information that even I didn't know. I know for like 2 years now, and even I got some really great hidden gems out of there and some stuff that I didn't really know about Scarlett. So anyone who actually knows her, I mean, you might want to tune in as well. And overall, it's just one of those very inspiring, motivating interviews, and it takes us through how Scarlett maneuvered her way through the transition from being a teacher, being overweight, to where she is today. And it's just really, overall, it's a great listen. Now, before we get started, of course, we got to do some shameless advertising. This episode is brought to you by Generation Strong, the premier fitness brand of the Middle East. You can log on to www.generationstrong.com and check out all our cool fitness apparel and lifting goods. I mean, you won't find anything like this in the entire Middle East. And it's funky, it's cool, it's functional, high quality, and I know you guys are going to love it. You can also follow us on Instagram, which is @GenStrongStore, and we also have another page called Project Generation Strong, where we started off, where we promote everything in health and fitness and events on that page. Well, that's it for shameless advertising. Without further ado, let's get started. Boom. What's up, guys and girls? My name is Ray and welcome back to the Generation Strong YouTube channel. Today, my guest is one of the most inspirational people for both men and women around the world. She is a ex-teacher, a WBFF Pro, strong woman in the making, a professional strong woman in the making. She's also a podcast host and a Generation Strong ambassador. Welcome, Scarlet Harvey.
Thank you.
So I think first and foremost, I think the inspirational bit for me was going from a school teacher to a WBFF Pro in such a short amount of time. I don't know why I stumbled saying WBFF Pro, but in such a short amount of time, right? And first off, why? And you're a pretty good teacher, you love children. Why the change? Why the career change?
So, school teacher to personal trainer. Firstly, I love teaching. Yes, I would say I'm a very good teacher. But I've been teaching 11 years, and I hit a crossroad in my life where lots of things started to change. The pandemic also was intertwined in that time. Most people had kind of life realizations during this pandemic time. I'd been on this journey of fitness myself for a good 2 years by this point. It was kind of taking over more of my mindset and more of my thought process than teaching was. I was enjoying it. I was a gymnastics coach back in the UK before I was a teacher. So I've always been into coaching. I was coaching children with gymnastics. So coaching children, teaching children, coaching, teaching. Potato, whatever. It's all the same thing, right? Yeah. Just a different context. My skills are in building relationships with people, whether they are young people or old people or male or female, whatever, and sharing my knowledge. So whether that is sharing knowledge in an educational setting or sharing knowledge in a sporting setting, it's still the same skill set. And a change is as good as a rest, right? That's what they say. I've been teaching 11 years, so if there's ever a time in your life to make a decision, it's in your 30s, when you're enjoying something, you got no commitments, no ties, no kids needing my money.
And that's the thing. So for me, it's more on the lines of like, so when you're in your 30s, right, and you have a pretty comfortable job, you're doing pretty well for yourself, and like, there's a lot of people in this world who have that idea as well. To make a career change at that age when you're doing well, you're doing pretty well, and you're making a decent amount of money, I'm assuming.
Well, I mean, I think people overestimate what teachers earn, but yeah, go on.
Well, and making a career change at 30 was pretty gutsy, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Into an industry where you got to start from scratch.
Yeah.
I guess. And there's so much competition in this day and age.
Yeah.
Right? So much competition. So how do you set yourself apart? And how is the personal training business right now?
So at the start of that question, you said I was in a comfortable job.
Yeah.
And that is it. I was comfortable.
Yeah.
But comfort zone is the death of everybody, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think being comfortable was what caused me to gain weight in the first place. And through my transformation and putting myself out of my comfort zone and trying new things was exciting, and I was just enjoying life out of the comfort zone. So yes, leaving teaching was scary, but to be honest, when I lived in the UK and I was a teacher and I moved to Dubai, that was scary.
Yeah.
And I did it and I made a success of it.
Correct.
And I did it all by myself. So no family support, nobody came with me. I'd never been here before. I've traveled the world by myself. That was scary. I remember the first time I got on a flight on my own, that I was crying the whole way to Thailand because I was terrified. Nice. I've done a lot of things that have scared me, but the sense of fear, as much as it is scary, it gives me an adrenaline rush and it keeps me on my toes and it makes me work harder, and I don't know, I just seem to work well that way. So how do I set myself apart from the rest? I would say it's through my transformation, my story. My story is very catching because I was in full-time corporate employment. I managed to lose all this weight. That's one of the classic excuses.
Correct.
Of many people is I don't have time, I work, I'm busy. I was working, I was busy. I still managed to find the time.
Right.
So I think what sets me apart is that my journey happened when I was a real person. Not that I'm not a real person now,
no, true.
But I've gone beyond, the lifestyle kind of client thing now.
Correct.
I consider myself an athlete, whereas when I first started 4 years ago, I was a real person on a real journey with a real full-time job, going out drinking with my mates, just what everybody else is doing in the world. So that sets me apart, and then it's kind of how my journey has just evolved into where I am now. People are kind of captured by it, and they're fascinated with the twists and the turns in the journey. Originally it was, oh my gosh, you've lost so much weight, that's amazing. Then I was into the Muay Thai, and being such a small, smiley, friendly little girl, going in the ring and turning into like a vicious little monster. People were watching that like, how is this double personality? Like, this is weird. She's a cute primary school teacher, and then she's in the ring.
Love it.
So people were really enjoying the journey. Then it went into the bodybuilding, and I got absolutely shredded. People loved seeing this as well, captured an audience. Into now being this strong woman, lightweight strong woman, I must add, and being so small and lifting such enormous weights. People are mesmerized by what I can do as an athlete. As I said, I've been a teacher as well. So what stands me out as a PT is that I've got a teaching background. I have come from a high level education where I've got a master's degree in education.
You do?
Yes.
Wow.
Maths.
That's nice.
I'm intelligent.
Wow. Oh, we always knew you were intelligent, but I didn't know you had a master's.
So, as part of the management team in the school, and I've done a lot of work with training teachers, training parents, teaching children, mixing with various members of staff in the school. It just gives you a different skill set to whereas if you are and only ever have been a PT, this is your skill set.
Yeah.
I have such a broad skill set that I can bring into that. It does set me apart, in my opinion, and makes me great.
So a couple of things here, right? You were a teacher when you did this transformation, and it was for the world to see. All right. Did you, you did mention that you did get like a little bit of heat from teachers or parents. Can you shed some light on how you dealt with that and what you thought of that situation?
Yeah, so I got a lot of heat through my own doing, because, as you said, it was for the world to see. Because, quite honestly, I was damn proud of myself.
Right, and you should be.
And I wanted to display what I was doing. And that's it, quite frankly. And some people love it and support me in that.
Yeah. Thank
you to those people. And some people didn't love it so much. And I get it. I have no qualms about it. I totally understand. I was a primary school teacher, and within that, there's a certain level of professionalism that goes into that. Absolutely get it. But in order for me to develop as an athlete, which is what I wanted to do, I wanted to get my name out there. I wanted to be known. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be picked up by new coaches. I wanted to be picked up by sponsors. Like, we wouldn't be working together if I had have kept all of my social media and my advertising closed and private, because that's not how this industry works.
100%.
It's the complete opposite to teaching. The teaching profession is your private life is your private life, do that, but keep it private. Yeah. And your professional life is your professional life. Whereas in what I'm doing, in terms of building an audience and getting a backing, you have to be public. For sponsors, for coaching, for just for everything, like in what you're doing. So the two were conflicting.
Correct.
But I understand the professional part of it in teaching, and I understand this part of it. And it just got to a crossroads where if I wanted to continue to develop in one, whether that be teaching or whether that be as an athlete, I had to make a choice. And I was young, free and single at the time.
Correct.
Not so single anymore, but still young and free. And it's the time to make that decision. You know, if I had children, then obviously perhaps it wouldn't have been the same decision.
Correct,
but that's not my case. So how did I deal with the heat that I got? Like it or lump it, I'm going to carry on doing me.
When just things that were going on in my mind, I was like, I'm imagining like the kids, because I'm assuming kids have Instagram these days.
Well, I was teaching primary school, so they were like 5 years old. So
okay,
no.
Fine. Okay, cool.
But the parents,
So the parents,
all the big brothers and sisters,
I was just imagining like kids all like, oh my God, we saw you on Instagram in a bikini.
Yes, some people have seen me in a bikini on Instagram. Some kids are allowed in gyms here in Dubai. This is what's weird, right?
Young ones,
I've been in the gym in my Generation Strong hot pants and a sports bra, looking ripped and shredded, practicing my posing, training, doing cardio, whatever it might be. And there's kids from school in the gym. But if their parents want them in a gym, that's what they're going to see.
Correct.
You know?
It's part of fitness.
Right,
it's part of the gym, right?
And nothing that I have done has been in a provocative manner. Everything I have done has been in an athletic manner.
Yeah, correct.
So when I'm posting pictures in my bikini to show my progress, I'm talking about my progress week on week, my weight drops, my physique changes in my muscular development. There's a difference between some things and other things.
Correct.
You need to look
and you've
at
been
that
professional
with
so
your
far,
own perception and make of it what you want to make of it. You don't like it, that's your thing, you know. But what I'm doing is I'm just showing my journey.
Correct.
For week by week, month by month, year on year, my transformation is continuing from weight loss to bodybuilding to strongman to a gaining season, a cutting season.
It has been an amazing journey. So I think I met you 2 years ago, I think. This
2 or 3? 3 years ago at the muscle show.
I met you 3 years ago at the muscle show. We had a small conversation.
You didn't remember me.
I did remember you.
No offense taken.
I did remember you, right? So I think it happened as I met you at the muscle show because I didn't know you before that, right? And I think you bought something like a disco belt or something.
And the donut shorts.
And the donut shorts.
Yeah.
And till date, right? And then Fit Awards where you won the transformation, that's where I'm like, who is this person? Like, what is like?
Yeah, you didn't remember me, right?
I'm finding you on
the gram.
Well, it was a busy day. The Dubai Muscle Show, we met like thousands and thousands of people, right?
It's good.
And
you're going to give me some ag in a minute, so I'm giving you ag.
I was about to be married, so it's like thinking of a young blonde girl who just stood on stage. Nevertheless, and then I think Fit Awards, and after that we connected. I think it's like 2 years almost now, right?
Yeah.
And just seeing the transformation, seeing the journey. Sometimes I'm holding my breath, right? I come from a very like long strength conditioning background and have seen competitions and all the all the strength sports, and I see this, and I'm in awe always as to like what you have achieved in the last like year, for God's sakes, going from like bodybuilding to now strongman.
A friend of mine called me last night and she said, "Do you live in a time machine?" She was
ridiculous.
like, "How are you doing this?"
It's ridiculous, right?
But I mean, it's Friday night at whatever time it is now. I work every hour of every day. You know, I don't waste time.
You're a hustler, right?
Yeah.
This time never comes back, right?
Yeah.
And you do what you want to do with the time. You have 24 hours in a day. I want to touch a bit upon the bodybuilding side of things, right? Now, I've always had this question, right? And it's just a yes or no answer. Do you use steroids?
No. Never have, never will.
Fine. Well, that's for everyone who was watching and everyone who ever wondered whether Scarlet Harvey.
A lot of
this is
people
straight
ask.
From her.
A lot. I get the question in my inbox.
Fortunately, I don't have a lie
regularly.
detector, but
I get asked this all the time, right? I never have, I never will. There's many reasons why I don't want to. I have nothing against anybody who chooses to do so. It's not for me. It doesn't suit my health, my lifestyle, my future, what I want, children, be a mum.
100%.
Hormones functioning. It's just not for me.
The risk outweighs the reward
exactly,
at this point of your
I
of
would
your
rather
life,
come
right?
second in every competition I ever compete in.
Correct.
Naturally, than take things that are going to potentially cause risk or damage to my future to win a gold medal. The end of story. That is literally it. That's how it boils down.
So when it comes to PEDs, one of the well-known facts is recovery, right? It helps in recovery. Now, so if you're not taking PEDs, then how do you recover?
Good question. So I eat a lot. Let's face it. I think I eat
compared
really
to back
well.
in the day when you were not eating anything, remember?
But
You would
even
come
when
here
I was
hangry.
eating limited food on a cut, I still eat good, nutritious food.
Correct.
I make sure that my calorie allowance is well spent. I don't waste those calories on like nonsense food, empty
Correct.
calories.
Yeah.
I don't drink alcohol anymore. I haven't drank for a good 2 years. So that also helps in the recovery. Sleep. I mean, if you know me, you know I'm in bed by like 9 o'clock usually.
Correct. Yeah, except for tonight probably.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why that last competition in Denmark was it went a bit peaked on, because I didn't get on stage till 1 o'clock in the morning. No,
Right,
that just
right,
doesn't
yeah.
suit my schedule. Recovery, I have a massage therapist, comes to my house once a week. Yes, it's expensive, but as I said, I don't spend money going out drinking. I don't spend money on other things. I choose to spend my money on therapy.
Recovery, yeah.
I have yoga once a week. Again, I have a private yoga instructor comes to my house. We do an hour of yin yoga, which for those that don't know is very slow, deep stretching yoga. We do like 5 positions. Because it's a one-to-one, it's specifically designed for me and what my needs are based on my training of the week.
Right.
So it's not a class generic yoga.
Correct.
You hold each position for like 3 to 5 minutes. It's uncomfortable, but as we just spoke about, comfort zone is failure. You know, you've got to get into your discomfort, and you've got to get comfortable being in discomfort, if that makes sense. So the yin yoga, she also does sound healing, which I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in all of these things. Our body works on vibrations and frequency.
Yeah, correct.
There's a lot to be said for the frequency of your muscular system, internal. So having the sound healing. So I do my hour yin yoga followed by half an hour sound healing session. What else do I do? I drink a lot of water.
Right.
Always got this on my side. That is very important. I take supplements. So I take magnesium, zinc, calcium. I mean, I don't know.
Omega-3s?
Omega-3, B12, ashwagandha before I go to bed.
Nice.
Makes me fall into a nice coma.
Correct. That's right.
I don't know, like it's a bank of herbal supplements that I've been taking for maybe 3 years. I believe it supports my performance, my recovery. You know, I take the daily green supplements, things like that.
Nice.
Make sure I get all my minerals in. Put salt on all my food. There's a lot of people that think salt is bad for you.
No.
Putting salt in your food helps your muscles recover. It helps your performance. It's a hot country. We sweat a lot. Like replacing those electrolytes is really important.
People who think salt's bad for you are bad for you.
Right? And I spend my weekends resting.
So you do a lot of, obviously when we look at the yin and the yang side of things, obviously training is very yang, right?
Yeah.
And that is a big part of your life. And then so to supplement that, you do quite a lot in the yin aspect of things, which is, you know, the yin yoga and the sound healing and and food and all the herbal supplements and stuff that go around it. Do you believe in massages or
massages? Yeah, every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
Same person?
Yeah.
Nice. So you get like a full.
And so she knows me as well. Like she knows my body. Sometimes
so it's like a full service, like once a week. That's not bad.
Yeah. It's cost a lot.
So jealous. Yeah, but you spend your money on the right things.
It's what I'm choosing. Yeah.
Right. It's
exactly.
you know, you can either spend it on going out and having dinners and watching movies, drinking, smoking, whatever the hell that is, or spend it on the good stuff.
Yeah.
In conjunction with the bodybuilding. So bodybuilding gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's male or female bodybuilding, and there's obviously you guys make a ton of sacrifices, right? I used to compete back in the day, but I didn't go to the pro level. But so I'm not going to be one to talk about like that stage of bodybuilding. But you reached kind of like the top echelon, and you did win your pro card. So there's a lot of sacrifices and revelations, politics, and everything that plays into it. There are quite a lot of people that I know who are bodybuilding for the longest time, and their dream is to make it pro. Kind of in your journey, what were those like real, first of all, like if you could just name about 3 sacrifices, like really quickly, that you had to make.
So friends, food, drinking, the whole social thing was a massive sacrifice.
So it's like 0, you're saying? Or was it like, say, maybe once every month?
So to be honest, it didn't have to be 0,
Yeah.
okay? But as I said before, during my journey, I went through a lot, not just with fitness, not just with teaching. My personal life kind of blew up in my face, let's put it that way. Although I'm not going into details. I decided to pretty much draw a line and move on with my life. And I never looked back. So yeah, social just went to 0 for a little while. And I spent a long time working on me.
Good. Nice.
So yeah.
So social, definitely. What else?
Now this is probably more pandemic related, but traveling, family visiting kind of situation.
But it goes for like everyone was.
Pandemic, but also coming out of the pandemic and wanting to compete, and was it worth the risk of getting stuck somewhere? Was it not? Oh, I don't know. Like.
Nice.
So yeah, that was the sacrifice.
So travel, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What was one of the most unexpected things that you went through throughout your journey?
Oh.
One of the most unexpected things or revelations. I'm just looking for. So I had many experiences right during this where like I used to, when we were backstage, same group of people, same height, weight, whatever it is, and you have some guys eating McDonald's backstage, right? And they're just like munching down McDonald's, and you can see them getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're like, what the hell? I know if I ate that, I would just have a big gut.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have all these gummy bears backstage and wine and people mixing pre-workout with wine and orange juice and all that crap. So that was one of those like really like, whoa, weird things. Back in the day, I wasn't really into strength conditioning that much. So it obviously it was like a shock, and I was like, okay, let me go back and let me research this. Was there anything that, you know, stood out for you in your journey that you were like, whoa, this is weird? Or
I mean, I've always been very comfortable with myself, naked or dressed.
That's where I was going with it.
I know, I got you. My first competition here in Dubai was the Muscle Show in 2019. Women and men totally separate. Backstage areas
Like
were
it should
separate.
be.
It was great. Yeah, of course. Even then, to be honest, I was backstage with all the girls and they were just stark naked, getting all their spray tans and, you know.
But it's men and women separate, right? This is part of bodybuilding.
Yeah,
this
but
is part
I
of
was
fitness.
still, it was my first time.
Yeah,
and
it's
I was
weird.
backstage
It's a little
and I was
weird,
like, it was really weird. Anyway, then I got over that, whatever, it's fine. Then I went to Poland in August 2021 to compete in the IFBB, and backstage it was mixed genders. I mean, Eastern Europe, whatever, that's how they roll. And I was with my mum, by the way. I haven't seen my mum for ages, so I take my mum to this show, and
So your mum's with you backstage.
we go
with all these,
backstage
like,
to get my spray tan done the night before. We walk into this hall. I mean, there was naked men everywhere. But they weren't just fully naked. I mean, they might have put a sock on it, literally put a sock on it. Honestly, I didn't know where to look. My mum was horrified. So that was quite shocking.
I can imagine that poor woman. She hasn't seen you in so long, and
this is what I take her to.
this is where you take her to, right?
So she goes, I'm just going to go and sit and wait over there. And she turns the chair around so her back is to everyone. She just didn't know what to do with herself. Anyway, so that was obviously quite shocking.
So that's something that, you know, so I never experienced that, right? For us, it was, I think it was men and women separate, on separate days itself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was men one day and then women on the other day and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is something cool to, you know, keep in mind that if you're ever competing in Europe, this is something that you can expect, right?
A lot of nakedness
A lot of
backstage.
nakedness, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
If
Eastern
you're not
Europe.
comfortable being naked, it's not for you.
It's Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah, but even back here, being naked, having your spray tan done and all that, like,
It's part of the...
if you're not okay with that, don't enter.
Yeah, it's part of the game,
Yeah.
right? It's part of the game. So expect it, basically.
Yeah,
It's gonna
exactly.
happen.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears to Strongwoman. So this was one of those things that I was shocked. All right, I was like, this woman's just gone from like bodybuilding to, which is like a sport where when you're depleted to that level, of course your joints and muscles take a lot of.
They take a beating, right?
They take a beating, right? And then to go into a sport that requires pretty much all your joints, muscles, bones, ligaments, tendons to be in prime.
Yeah.
How did you manage that? Because for me, like, I remember when I met you outside and you came here for elbow sleeves, I was kind of shocked when you were competing with the big girls, right,
Yeah.
in the open category, and I'm like, she's just finished a show 2 weeks ago. How did you manage that? Like from 2 weeks from going from bodybuilding to Strongwoman. Not many people will do it, but I'm just curious over here.
To be quite honest, it blows my own mind. Okay, so it was never the plan. To be honest, nothing was ever the plan. I didn't plan any of this. I don't even know how I'm sitting here right now. Anyway, I was on a bodybuilding journey, okay? And I didn't even plan that. Before that, I was on a Muay Thai martial arts journey. Somehow I took a wrong turn and I ended up bodybuilding. Wrong turn, a right turn, who knows? And did the bodybuilding. On the bodybuilding journey, I was supposed to compete in July. There was a Strongwoman competition on October the 1st. So July to October, I thought, yeah, I'll go and do this bodybuilding show in July. I'll be depleted, shredded, but I've got time then to do
like 3-4 months.
you know, August, September and October to train, eat, and get ready
Get your
for this
joints all
competition.
supple again and everything. Yeah.
Anyway, COVID, it's postponed. Then I got another one, then that was cancelled. Then another one was postponed, and then the border shut in this country. And I just had a really bad run of luck with my bodybuilding shows. Just, I think 5 shows were postponed, cancelled, borders were shut. There were so many problems. So then I didn't actually compete until the end of August 29th, I think it was. And I still wanted to do this Strongwoman show in October. So bearing in mind, August 29th, October the 1st, we've got 4 weeks in between there. But 1 week of that was spent in Poland after the show with my mum, having a nice time. So by the time I got back to Dubai, FYI, never trained Strongwoman before. So I walked into the Strong Gym January last year because Mark invited me in for a free trial session. The gym was new, come and have a go. Yeah, great, had fun, loved it. And Mark even said to me, you should do Strongwoman. And I was like, I'm a bodybuilder. Much to his disgust. He's not a fan of the bodybuilding.
Of course.
Anyway, so I stuck to my guns and I was like, no, I'm on this path. I want to see this journey through, and went through my gaining season, off season, whatever you want to call it. And then I went into my cut, and then I did my show. All right, Mark, let's go. Let's do Strongwoman. And he was like, yeah, it's in 3 weeks. And I was like, yeah, all right.
It's only 3 weeks is a long time.
So I went to a class. I didn't even have a program. Like, I just turned up in a class that's designed for everybody in the general public to come, keep fit, get functional and strong, and you know, so there's maybe 20 people in this class. It's not specifically designed for me.
100%. It's a mixed class, right? Like men and women.
Picked up a few stones. I don't know.
Loved it.
Did a few deadlifts, whatever. And then I phoned you the night before the competition and said, I think I might need some elbow sleeves tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you asked why, and I said, because I'm doing the open category Strongwoman. And I toyed with the idea of doing the novice, but I had actually tried to encourage some of my clients to have a go, just because my journey has evolved in the way it has, because I never say no to any opportunity.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding, okay, I'll have a go. Strongwoman, okay, I'll have a go. I never intended on being a pro at any of these. So I like to encourage my clients just to try. Try it once. If you don't like it, that's not a problem. So because I'd encouraged them to try the novice, I felt like a bit of a fraud, kind of then entering the novice myself.
Against them, yeah.
Because it just didn't sit well in my values and my morals. Also, put your money where your mouth is, you know? I wanted to just go and have a go and see, you know?
That is gutsy. That is super gutsy.
Yeah. So I spent 3 weeks eating a lot. As you know, you saw me. I went from shredded.
Did we give you a small or a large?
To not so shredded, quite fast.
Yeah.
With a good purpose, though.
But kudos to you. You didn't get injured.
And everything I do, I do it with a good reason.
Yeah.
I didn't just rebound out of the bodybuilding show and get enormous. I did it for a reason. And again, everything I was eating was nutritious food, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so entered the open category with these big girls.
Beautiful.
And had a great time. The following day, I went back into a cut to compete in Denmark 8 weeks later. So I went not only from bodybuilding to strongman, but I then went straight back into bodybuilding.
Strongman, bodybuilding.
I came 2nd, 5th in 2 different categories. But
I thought that was the pro card.
No, the pro card was in the year before in the WBFF. Denmark was IFBB.
But you won a pro card there too, no? If you come 2nd?
2nd, no pro card.
No pro card.
No.
Okay.
But in Denmark, it was a okay experience. If I'm honest, I was a bit disappointed. I was very happy with my physique. I was very happy with what I did. The girl who won was definitely on peds. I mean, I never used to be able to see the difference myself, but now, like with a trained eye, I can kind of see the difference.
I think for guys, the first thing we look at is, of course, traps and horseshoe triceps. Like when you have like those horseshoe triceps and traps, like you know that people are, there's a certain level of musculature that people can naturally have, right?
Yeah.
But what's it in women? What do you...
So in my category in wellness category is all about the glutes and the legs, basically. Yeah. The back pose is like the famous wellness pose.
Yeah.
So again, we come back to my Instagram and things, posting the back pose in a bikini. There was reason for that, because that's the category. We're looking at the hamstrings, the glutes, the hamstring glute tie-in, as people call it, where the two muscles kind of meet together at the top of the leg.
Correct.
So the kind of telling point is that focal point where the hamstrings and the glutes come in, and you get like the teardrop shape, the U shape under the bum. It's very specific, and In women hold more fat around this area naturally because we're designed to hold children, carry children, you know. And this is where we hold our fat to. So to get that level of leanness in your upper body, for me, is quite easy. I naturally get leaner in my upper body. To get lean in this area for women is really hard.
Harder, yeah.
If you're on PEDs, you're going to be able to maintain a level of leanness that a natural athlete can't. And that's where, when I've competed as a natural athlete, I notice the difference. That I just can't see. I can get shredded in my abs, I can get my quads are shredded, upper body shredded, and my bum cheeks just don't want to go.
That's a sign then.
But for me, that's a telling sign, yeah.
Okay.
And that kind of comes back to, like, lots of people don't understand why I'll be shredded and then I look the way I currently look. And it's not really about what I look like for me anymore. The journey has evolved so much. My different goals and my different targets, you know. I did have bad rebound experiences at the beginning of my journey. But now it's so much different.
You learn,
different
right?
goals.
You live and you learn,
I'm now doing Strongwoman. Like, I'm gonna be bigger doing those things anyway. But again, I come back to being natural and the fact that if I wasn't, I would be able to maintain a leaner physique.
Correct.
And I can't.
Yeah.
One, because I eat a lot.
Definitely, yeah.
I've got big appetite. And
two,
two, because I don't take anything.
That's cool. Let's switch gear one last time. You've been using Generation Strong products for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, I think from the start of your journey, what do you think of them? It's just a plug-in for us because we got to do some shameless advertising all the time. But
I honestly love the shorts. I love the designs. The designs are like what caught my eye. I'm a very bright, fun, joyful kind of person. I don't wear like plain minimalistic kind of things. Correct. I'm not really a plain minimalistic kind of girl. I'm loud in your face. Hello, I'm here. Pink is my favourite colour. I saw those pink donut shorts. Donuts are my favourite food. They had a unicorn on them. What's not to love?
Win-win.
Then you had a pink sparkly disco belt. Apart from the fact that I now don't use that because I need the thick leather for the intensity of my training. But at the time, that was perfect for me. I loved it. Pink shorts, sparkly belt. It was great. The logo, the slogan, everything that you believe in and what you stand for, the lift sexy, it's not all about like being sexy, it's about having good form, it's about lifting correctly. Stay hungry. I mean, we can look at this in different perspectives. I'm always hungry. It's great.
Figuratively and...
But also I'm always hungry for more, like my drive, my ambition, my want to try new things, and it's I just feel like it's me. It's a very me kind of brand.
Nice. And we thank you for the support. I mean, you've been one of our biggest cheerleaders for the longest time, and we're really proud to have you as an ambassador. I think closing remarks, what would you like to add at the end? Where can people find you? Do you want to talk about the podcast, just like a minute on like what your podcast is about? Because I know now you have like 1,000 followers, right? Yeah. And that's pretty cool because you just recently started it.
Yeah. So just a little what's up next is my next competition is in April the 10th in the UK. I'm competing in a qualifying competition for Britain's Strongest Woman. Ooh. Wish me luck. So if I place top 3, I go through to the next round. Beautiful. So this is a big deal. I'll be against girls my own size, under 64, lightweight category. Game on. You can find me on Instagram at Little Red Dynamite. You can find me on Spotify, and the podcast is called With Purpose. It talks through my journey. It talks through my prep for bodybuilding shows, my prep for Strongwoman. I talk about the highs, the lows, the ugly side, the real side. I've got some guests coming up on the episodes in the next couple of weeks, so that's exciting. Nice. Keep a lookout for those. Yeah, send me a message, let me know what you want to hear more about.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, we thank you for your time and all your honest answers.
Welcome.
Hopefully honest. We don't have a lie detector for that question.
You're never going to let it go, are you?
But thank you so much for your time and your honest answers. We really appreciate it. I think there were some great gems in there, which, I mean, I know that I took away from this, which is primarily where I started this. But yeah, it was really an honor to have you.
Thank you.
And I think we should have you back probably after your Strongwoman competition
Review
in a few months.
Yeah.
And let's see what's next then, because this girl takes turns left, right, and center, and then
exactly.
You never know what's next.
Yeah.
You really never know what's next. But yeah, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that's it for shameless advertising. Without further ado, let's get started. Boom.